one is management. And then down here, the janitor for Jesus, the bishop. The whole goal for all of this is to help Trinity do one thing. Right there. The whole goal is to help Trinity engage God's mission, and so to do that, the hope is that all these folks here, these folks here, this guy here, what we're about is trying to do everything we can. Here's the key word right here, resource. We're trying to get the resources to you to help you in your context and culture do the best you can to engage God's mission. So old school or other way was more regulatory, so you would have seen the bishop here, and then you would have seen probably some of these elected bodies, and then somewhere down here would have been that's sort of what we see, but we really moved to more, and more time you have, but really a biblical understanding. If you think of the folks in Ephesus or Corinth or all those places, it was really about getting to those faith communities like Trinity, and how can we get the resources to them. So that's really what we're about, is trying to do that. So the question for you all as the leadership here is two. One is, what are the resources you have? And what are the resources you need? The have question is, what is it you do really well here? What do you feel really good? What is it called, the feeding that you do?
Family
that's incredible. And you started that, I was reading about that online last night, and I thought, man, that's great stuff. So maybe there's a church, maybe there's another faith community somewhere that would love to learn about that. But you could help them, tell them how you started that, because you got it right from the get-go, right from the beginning, that would be a have that you have, just an example. What's a need? So you may need help with stewardship, you may not. You may need help with faith formation, you may not. You may need help with, I just heard the good father say, you're trying to get people here in a particular area, a particular age group. There may be other faith communities. St. Andrew's in Duluth may already be doing that and have gathered lots of them there. That's where we need to hear about from you, what are your needs and what do you have well, so that we can begin to share these resources. That's what we want to do, is to begin to share these and work to make this happen. So it's not sort of top down, we're telling you what to do, it's really this way, and it's really moving away from competition to collaboration. How can we all collaborate to help build the best, strongest, healthiest faith communities, each of which has their own context, each of which has their own culture, where you're on the ground level here engaging God's mission. So we want to do all we can to get the resources here. You got some to share, that would be great. That's sort of the big picture for you in less than 3 minutes. Questions, thoughts, things you're wondering?
So, where do we go to access these resources? Like, for instance, when Father was talking about bringing in, a certain demographic,
right,
or enlarging our demographic, how do we access this? Where's the database, or is it in the process of still being formed or compiled?
It is. We had 9 regional gatherings where we brought a lot of the faith communities came together, and from that, significant data has been collected. And a part of that is that if you're familiar with Craigslist, for those who are online, we're in the process of setting up our own what's known as Episcopal Exchange. So, for example, you can go on there, hopefully the vision would be in the future, you can go on there, and what you'll see is that you tap in there and say, we're looking forward to attract 20s to 40s people, or new member ministry. Go in there and then you'll be able to see 3 or 4 different congregations that are doing that in a contact person. That's one of the ways that you'll be able to do that. Second way is that really has to do with mission, is that you could contact the missioner for mission, and they'll begin to help you resource and get the names for them. The third way, this is just that for those of you who came to convention, one of the things that we're thinking about or encouraging people to consider is that this is probably a good room to do this, is right on this wall right here, for you all to put a nice 42-inch flat screen TV up there. Is this building Wi-Fi? You have Wi-Fi in the building? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already dialed in, and then you have Wi-Fi up there, so you connect that in, connect with your Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden, now you can, through that, this is part of what we're going to help you develop, through WebEx or Skype or any of that. So if this technology is not your thing, forgive me, but you'll be able to sit here as a vestry or leadership or whatever group, get right on there. That group that I just talked about at St. Andrews, they get on, and you begin to have a conversation. Likewise, there's a group that wants to do the feeding program that you're doing. You get on here with a group of them, and a group of folks are right there. So we're hoping to try to begin to connect people via the web to do that. So, and we're working out a program, believe it or not, with Best Buy now to be able to get that for an incredible deal because we're buying bulk. We just got the first one in the bishops in my office, so we'll be able to do some more things from there. So that's the beginning of the resources. So if you want to know today, this will change is happening, contact the Episcopal office and ask for the mission information, and his name's Tim Hood, and he'll help you get that in terms of resources. What else are you wondering about, or what other questions or thoughts? Okay. So then the question for you all that I would encourage you to begin to ponder is that these two questions here. What do you have that you could share? I mean, there's a lot of great things happening here. I mean, this place, this is a good, healthy place here. So you've got some things, some secret sauce here. What is that? And that you'd be willing to share with us. And then to really be clear, and maybe you've done this 2, 3, no more, 5 would be too many, of things that you really want to focus on and work on, and you need some help to make that happen. And then let's figure out what resources you need to make that possible. So if you can begin to kind of think about that, begin to dream about that flat screen TV there, I'll tell you, Trinity will be dialed in. What else are you wondering about? What else can I answer? Who knows where the brownies went? Do you have any other questions off this map and on some others? Yes.
Bishop, could you, you've changed the way that you want to make yourself more visible in the outer regions of the diocese, in terms of, the outer regions of the Episcopal Church of Minnesota. 25 years, so don't have it.
Try ECM.
Perhaps you could talk about your concept of being present in the various regions.
So when Bishop Whipple was consecrated in Virginia, it was like 3 weeks later. I have to check this, so don't quote me on it. He was all the way up on, like in the White Earth area. And what Bishop Whipple did, and what the early missionary bishops did, is they would go to areas or regions for a period of time. The concept of a bishop coming once every 3 years and that would be it, is really, that's something that was sort of a later idea. What we're working on now, after part of what was in the mission strategy report and then from those 9 regional gatherings, is the idea, so this could be the last time I'd see you now in the previous functioning way until 2014 would be the next time you would see me. For me, I think that's too long. And part of my responsibility as a bishop is I had to look at your books, and I was working with the good father, and I'm like, well, when was the last time a bishop's here? Going back and back and back. So, the hope would be is to come more often, to be here more often. So as a part of that is, we're going to do some things where I've said, I'm going to be in this region, and then invited the leadership of that region. You self-determine. You tell me what you'd like me to do. You want me to be in, it's a 4-day sprint. If you'd like me to be there in every congregation for a part of that, great. If you want to do some things together, great. You all figure that out. Sunday mornings will be less in terms of that, but always happy to come back to Trinity and Anoka on a Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday night, and we could gather and do some other things then. We're gathering at that point. So what we're really trying to do is come to a certain area for a certain period of time, 4 days, to do as much as we can in that area. Secondly, always open and willing to be invited to come at other times. Your block party, I came too late, on the schedule, but I'd love to do that in the future. So even those kind of things, love to come and be involved, if it includes food.
But no brownies.
No brownies.
So at our block party, can we put you on the duck booth?
We can talk about that. But here, but I'm very happy to do auctions. We've raised a lot of money through auctions. So if you want to have, take the bishop to dinner auction, there's several places done that. Or any way that we can be helpful in that sort of stuff, I'm more than happy to support you. Okay?
Dunk tank.
Yeah, back to the dunk tank. That'd be a lot.
Richard and I would welcome you to the team.
We supply the minnows.
The minnows? Did you say the minnows?
There were minnows in the dunk tank.
You are in Minnesota.
Yeah, I know. The water will be more. Okay, anything else you want to, anything else I can answer? Anything I need to hear from you? You need to tell me?
Well, we're an older congregation, probably average 62. I would say it's the very youngest. So next time you come, please wear a microphone.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that was a bit of a challenge, so we'll work on
Yeah,
that for next time.
Because
Sorry about
there's
that.
a lot who just can't hear, and it's because of the age of the congregation.
Okay.
So as you looked out, you could see that, couldn't you?
Yeah. Well, I think even in the best of situations, it sometimes amplifications help. So
Mhm.
we'll work on that for next time. I'm sorry
Sure.
you couldn't hear. There wasn't. I didn't really
Off
say
and on,
anything.
off and on.
I didn't really say anything worth hearing. But I'll try to next time both do the amplification and say something worth hearing.
Okay. Thank you.
The other thing you have to learn how to do is how to talk in 3 directions at once.
Yeah.
So challenging.
Well, that's in my previous manifestation. I wore this sort of this
Yeah.
kind of microphone, which really helps because you're moving your head like
Right.
this rather than the lavalier. So if you're going to think about getting one of those, which if you have a system, it's just a matter of getting one of those. I can help you out with that. That's the best way to go. Clergy sometimes don't like to wear it, but I say get over it and wear it. I'm sure your clergy would be happy and would look great with it. Anything else? I'm respectful to your Sundays and your times with your families and things like that. Okay. Let's pray, shall we? Loving Lord Jesus, grateful for this day, grateful for the mission and ministry that's being carried forth in your name from Trinity. Continue to bless these folks, continue to support them, continue to encourage and lead them so that they may be the people you're calling them to be. Bless them and those they love this day and forevermore. Amen. Thank you all. It's been wonderful.